What's going on, guys? Matt here representing Khaos Art, and I am back today continuing on with the Photoshop series. This is the second video in the series, and I'm going to be teaching you today how to save your custom workspace and customize and learn how your tools work. So let's go ahead and jump into this by go ahead and check out your workspace, see if it's how you like it. If you don't know how to change your workspace, go ahead and go back to the last video in this series and look at that, because it is very useful. But to do this, you need to have it however you like, and then come to either the top right hand corner to this little area, or go to Window. So within these two places, it's basically exactly the same. So you have Window, Workspace, then New Workspace. Once you save a workspace, and let's say something got moved or deleted, you can reset the workspace. So mine's called Match Work Area, and within Match Work Area, if I needed to reset it, I could just click that and it would go back to exactly basically this right here. I've actually changed mine where I have my my text options down here at the bottom. They're actually right over here now, but that's just something that I've changed on my own, which I will save later. But to do that, so you have this right here, you go to this side, New Workspace. Then if you need to reset it, reset the workspace, or if it's something you just completely don't like, delete that workspace. These options are basically live. So the new workspace will save whatever your workspace looks like right now. The delete workspace will delete whatever workspace you have selected, which for my case is Match Work Area. Reset Match Work Area is because I have Match Work Area selected. So definitely make sure if you're going and deleting workspaces or creating new ones that you don't go ahead and create crazy numbers of wrong ones, because I've done that before and I'm just like, why do I have so many in Match Work Area? It can get very frustrating. But that's just very quick and very easy, just a little bit that I left off of the last video. But now what you're going to want to do is look over here on the left side of your screen. There's tons of options over here, tons of tools that you can work with within Photoshop. Every tool has its own options, and then almost every tool has subtools inside of it. So there's so many different things that you can do with each and individual every tool. But we're not going to be talking about how to use everything, but I will give you an overview of what most of them do and how to see your other tools. So you have two options of how you like to present your tools. You can have it very long and slender, just like I do here. Or you can close it and have it kind of shorter but fat, which I don't like because it takes up the same length on the screen, but they're bunched together. I prefer it to be long. Oh, I did not mean to do that. Let's go ahead and do reset. And so this is how I normally have it. It just works a lot better for me. I can easily access my tools without accidentally clicking another one. So you can see that at the very top is your selector tool. It's very useful. The hotkey for that is V. You can see it just came on the screen. Every tool has a hotkey, or most every tool has a hotkey, and just hover your mouse over it and it'll tell you what the hotkey is. But this is just basic selecting any of your menus or anything or something within the image, and then just pretty much a normal mouse. It's kind of how I like to see it, because you have other selector tools that are used for other things. So there's no sub tool inside of this, it's just selector tool. You can always tell if there is a sub tool within something because there's this little triangle down here in the bottom right hand corner. So if I click on this, you can see that it just went to the tool that was on there initially, which is the marquee tool, the square one. If I click and hold, nope, that didn't work. Click and hold, there we go. You can see that there are smaller tools below it, which is a elliptical tool. Sorry, I'm having a little bit of trouble saying that. Elliptical tool, the single row marquee tool, and the single column marquee tool. And you can just select one of those. So now I'm on the circle marquee tool. And it stays on there as the default until you change it or select another one. So it will not mess up whenever you're trying to select multiple things. So next one is the lasso tool, another very good tool in selections. That is alongside the magic wand and quick select tools. Those are also very, very convenient for selections. So all three of those will select different things and can be used to make custom workspaces and things like that within Photoshop, which we'll talk about later and you'll see in later tutorials. But let's go ahead and move on to the next tool. This is the pen tool. Not pen tool, slice tool. Pen tool is at the very bottom. This is the slice tool, hotkey C. What this is used for is really using Photoshop to create websites, and you can do coding within inside that. And it really just slices that out, or you can slice an object and have it saved as its own image. It's kind of like a crop tool. So within there, you do have the crop tool itself, and then the perspective crop tool, slice tool, and then the slice select tool, which will allow you to select a certain slice within the image. So lots of cool tools and useful tools inside that. Eyedropper tool. So you have the eyedropper and then the ruler, note, count tool, all these different tools. Honestly, I don't use these very often. There is an occasion where I will use the ruler tool and it's very useful, but for the most part, I don't honestly use these too much. I'm not saying they're not useful, but I'm definitely going to look into it a little bit more, and we'll definitely do a tutorial on it to show you guys a little bit more about it. Then we have the spot, patches, healing, content, red eye tools, all that good stuff right here. Good for patching up images and whatnot, kind of get rid of blemishes and scars and things like that you might have within a picture. So then you have your brush tools, which also comes with the pencil tool, very useful. Your stamp tool, much like your brush tool, you can kind of paint something away, but you can clone something else and then stamp it into another place, just like a regular stamp would do in real life. Then you have more options down here with the history brush tool and the art history brush tool. It's a tongue twister. It's kind of hard to say. Art history brush tool. Hotkey Y for that. Then you have your eraser. Not my favorite thing to use. I usually try to mask everything, so I don't really have to worry about erasing stuff. But definitely something that I have used before and is pretty useful. Then you have your buckets, of course. Everybody knows how the bucket tool works. 3D material drop tool, that is with Photoshop Extended, so you can do 3D colors and whatnot within that, which I will kind of be touching a little bit, but that'll be outside of the series. It'll be a video on its own. Then you have the gradient tool. It's really good for gradients if you don't feel like doing a blending option on your layer. You can just use this right here and go ahead and create the gradient that way with its own custom options up here at the top. So now you have your blur tool, your sharpen tool, and your smudge tool. Very good for trying to get different effects and things like that. Kind of difficult to describe without actually using it, but definitely keep your eye on those because those will be coming up very soon. They're honestly some of my favorite tools to use. I use them in a lot of stuff, especially with like photography and things. You can do a lot of different things with it. So next is going to be the burn tool, the dodge and burn. I'm sure you've heard dodge and burn before. It's just a different technique with adding and taking away different colors and giving different effects. The sponge tool is there too, kind of helps you clean it up a little bit, give it more saturation to it. Very useful tools. Good alongside the blur, sharpen, and smudge tool as well. Then we have the pen tool. Here we go. This is hotkey P. I got this and the slice tool mixed up earlier. But the pen tool, very useful. I don't understand why it's not up with the selector tools. It's kind of what it is. What this does is creates a line, and you can create it yourself. You have the freeform, you have the add anchor points, delete anchor points, which anchor points are done with the regular pen tool. Definitely very good for creating vectors and things like that. You can create custom shapes with it. You can make selections, do work paths. All kinds of crazy things you can do with the pen tool, and you will definitely see that coming up, and I would say in the next couple of tutorials, the next 2 or 3 we'll be using the pen tool for sure. Then you have your text tool, which is just like anything you've seen before, just like Microsoft Paint or something like that. You have the vertical text, horizontal text, and then different things like that, or sorry, horizontal type mask tool, but horizontal text is just normal. You have your selectors now. This is useful with the pen tool. The direct selection tool is done mainly with the pen. The black path selector tool will change your path that you've created with the pen. So kind of finicky to work with, both hotkey A. I like to use them a lot. They're very fun to use, very useful. And then next, we have one of my favorite things, which, I mean, really all of these are my favorite. I've said that like 5 times, but it is the vector tool. You have rectangles, rounded rectangles, ellipses, polygon, lines, and custom shapes. So unbelievably useful for so many things that you can do. Like, it's hard to explain how many times you'll use this and memorize that it is hotkey U. It is crazy how useful this tool is. Thank you, Adobe and God, for putting it into Photoshop. So next we have the hand tool and the hand view rotate tool. What that does will just rotate your entire image on an axis, so you can look at it from a different angle, and if you're using a tablet, it helps you with digital painting and getting a better angle on something if you can't get it just right from where you're looking at it from. And then the zoom tool with hotkey Z. You can just zoom in and out. You have these options up here with actual pixels, fit screen, fill screen, print size. You'll see me in a lot of times in my like a time lapse or something, I'll zoom in and out really fast, and that's because I'm using that. I just have reactions where I'll hit Z and then go ahead and hit actual pixels or something, so I can work with it quicker and better. So one of the other essential tools for Photoshop is the zoom tool. But thank you for watching, guys, and thank you for basically everything. You guys are really keeping me going. I just broke 300 subscribers, which is a milestone for myself. I really never thought that I'd have 300 subscribers. That, you know, compared to some channels, it's nothing, but like, that's crazy to me. So thank you to each one of you personally for everything. And let me know if this helped you at all. And in the comment section, I read every comment. So let me know how I'm doing and what you would like to see within Photoshop.